Hi, boys and girls. So the last time we read, Odysseus got some instructions from Circe the witch, and she told him that he needs to go into the land of the dead. He needs to seek out the wise man Tiresias, who we know is dead. And to do that, he has to pour honey, milk, wine, and white barley meal into the place where the river of groans and the river of flame meet. Then he's got to sacrifice 2 sheep and put their blood in the trench and then stand guard until the ghost of Tiresias appears. I seem to recall that Odysseus's men were not too excited about that idea, but we'll see if they go along with it anyways. We are on part 2, chapter 7. When the sun had gone down and darkness had fallen, Odysseus and his men arrived at the edge of the sea. They sailed through a gray mist into the deep waters of Oceanus, the river that flows around the world. Then they sailed across Oceanus and finally came to the land of the dead. The Greeks moored their vessel on a dark riverbank shrouded in fog. As they stared into the mist, the men shook with terror, afraid to venture into the haunted realm. Odysseus himself trembled at the thought of what lay ahead. But with firm resolve, he stepped ashore and ordered his men to follow him with 2 sheep from Circe's island. Odysseus and his men traveled on foot through a grove of poplars and willows. They stopped when they came to a place where the 2 rivers met, the river of flame and the river of groans. There, in a place never touched by the rays of the sun, Odysseus dug a deep trench. He poured in the mixture of honey, milk, wine, and white barley meal. He offered prayers for the spirits of the dead. Then he ordered his men to slay the 2 sheep as a sacrifice to the gods. As soon as Odysseus poured the blood of the sacrificed animals into the trench, ghostly beings appeared out of the mist. The spirits of old men and women, the spirits of warriors still wearing their armor, the spirits of young women who had mourned for their lost men and died of broken hearts. Thousands of ghosts began moving slowly toward the Greeks. Drawn to the scent of blood, they made strange wailing noises. So whatever Circe's had him do is actually attracting these ghosts to him. They're coming in for this. Odysseus's men shook and trembled. Odysseus turned pale with fear. But he drew his sword to keep the spirits away until the ghost of Tiresias, the blind prophet, appeared. Remember, prophets are people who foretell the future. They create prophecies. While Odysseus fiercely guarded the trench, his gaze came to rest on one of the spirits floating through the mist. With shock and horror, he recognized someone he loved very dearly. Moving toward him was the ghost of his own mother. Gosh, can you imagine how Odysseus must feel? This is how he's figuring out that his mother has died. Up until now, he's thought that she was still alive back at Ithaca. So this is probably a horrible, horrible thing for him to find out. We'll keep reading chapter 8 to see what happens next.